Hi, it's Marianne and Rexy, and we are 5150 again on a Sunday afternoon. Now, we're celebrating because it's the end of the 72-year tour. 99 stops on the tour, $198 million just in their payment for performance. Metallica, and that's not including their t-shirt sales. So we're looking at hand over fist bank here, ladies and gentlemen. So as my gift to the very last show of this tour, I believe the very last tour of Metallica, if anybody knows what's good for them, and would stop lying to fans, as I call this, the 72 Years of Deception tour. We're just going to throw two pictures up here. Rexy has already, and everybody needs to understand, this is my opinion, not Rexy's opinion. Rexy's opinion is believe it when I see it, and I totally understand that. And so keeping that in mind, everything I say is my personal opinion and not the opinion of Rexy. So if you want to trash anybody, come after me, right? So here we go. This right here is the very last picture that the fake Lars Ulrich took on the tour. And as you can do, anybody who can see this, he has an extreme. Go ahead, Rex.
I'm just being nosy. I'm just being annoying. I'm being snarky like myself is, because I'm your snarky little co-host.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that one, this man here, okay, has dentures. Okay, this Lars Ulrich has dentures. Okay, no, there's nothing wrong with dentures, but Lars Ulrich doesn't have dentures. The other thing is that his square jaw. He has an extremely square jaw, which means this man Lars Ulrich would have had to have a jaw implant. And I'm going to show you why I know that, because this is real Lars. This is the real one. And as you can see, he doesn't have the same chin at all, not even close. So, and this doesn't change. This is the kind of thing that's genetic. It stays the same. It doesn't, your chin doesn't get more square as you get older. Your nose gets bigger, your ears grow, but your chin does not grow. So keeping that in mind, this man here is not Lars Ulrich. I will die on this hill. So, and that's all I'm going to say on that. As I said, this week, Rexy and I got into a bit of a discussion with someone for 4.5 hours, which we didn't realize until that later.
Spirit Man.
What's that?
Spirit Man.
Yeah, whatever is, ghost of something, or ghost of the bell, or whatever.
Spirit Man.
Yeah, something like that. And so he was basically saying, first of all, he went into the fighting about Lars. And we can fight till we're blue in the face. I have lots of fair enough questions that make it so it's probable. And it's a hill I'll die on. As I said, let me meet him, because I can tell you if it's him or not. The guy fucking stalked me. I met him 5 times. I partied with him, and I caught him cheating on his wife. I know him right down to the soul, and I can guarantee you that's not him. Now, that's probably, the guy hasn't even mentioned the fact of that. But just the thing that infuriates me is that this is a man who is so cocky. He thinks the Metallica fan is dumb because they believe that this is Lars. And that infuriates me, because I don't think Metallica fans are dumb. I think a lot of them are hypnotized, especially by James. And James is lying to them, calling them family, while this guy is pretending he's someone he's not. Now, the fact that he's exposing himself to kids with cancer and things and young people, that to me is just reprehensible. It's wrong. And they're charging for these meet and greets. There was one girl, and she's sobbing when she met them. And it's like, that's not fair, because that's not Lars. Stay away. Say you're not feeling well. Say you're watching FIFA soccer, which is exactly what Lars would have been doing. Lars, when World Cup soccer was on, he was nowhere to be found when it came to interviews. Never. He was a huge soccer freak. This guy obviously is not the same, or at least he wasn't doing it the same. So basically, what this guy said to us, this ghost of the bells, he said to me, you have a background in litigation. Why don't you start a class action suit for the tickets for this tour? And I said, well, first of all, I have no skin in that game. I was not at any 72 seasons tour. I saw Metallica from 1988 to 2011 over 30 times, meeting them 5 of those times. So I have no skin in this game. And he's like, well, don't you want to help them? And it's like, okay, I think what people need to understand is that from 2000 till 2011, I was gang stalked by Metallica's fans. Okay. They were they followed me to shows. They were at shows. I was assaulted by them. I had my property stolen by them. I was gaslit by them. So why would I want to help them? All I'm trying to do is wake them up, and then they can do whatever they choose. Now, most of them are so brainwashed by this whole thing that they're going to keep going on and on with letting James, make them believe their family. Now, James doesn't even talk to his own kids right now because of his fiance. So where you think your family, I think it's just, you need to understand, like, it's the leper messiah. It's make a contribution and you get that better seat. Because we're seeing with Connie Burton, who we've got her fundraiser right here. She's at, let me just see if I can bring it up here. Connie's fundraiser right now is at, I believe, almost $12,000, and which is pretty good. Let me just see here if I can open this. Me and my tech skills suck. Here we go. Okay, so we have, here we go, screen, yes. Okay, so here is, so here's Connie's GoFundMe. It's at $11,492, and her goal is $15,000. I see a lot of people have donated $5, $10, and I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for making a difference, or at least trying to make a difference with Connie. It's sad, as she's said multiple times now, that Metallica have not contacted her. Metallica have not offered to help her. She has no line in on them. And so the money that they make off clips, vapor trails, they don't think that she should have anything to do with it. Now, as far as her family's concerned, she was estranged from her dad, Ray, because he remarried, and she did not get along with the stepmother, which is very normal when there's, one parent dies and then they replace them with someone else. It's very normal for them not to accept the step parent. There were stepchildren involved, and apparently the stepsister inherited the entire estate. So, I mean, who knows where Connie was, she was using for a long time. So she could be, we don't know what the situation was, but obviously there's a lot of bad blood. And, the stepsister now has the rights to the estate. Ray left her everything, and didn't leave a dime to Connie. So what we're doing for Connie is helping her get well and get this surgery that she needs. She's shown, if you go to her Facebook page, she actually has the digital video x-ray of her jawline and where it's decaying at the back and all that stuff. And so, this is a legit thing. And so, that if anybody, again, we're almost there. She's 74% of the way there. And so if anybody, or 76% of the way there. So hold on, let me just check here. She's 77% of the way there. So, if you can help her, the $5-10, I'm watching those go up and I'm going, yay. I saw somebody give her $1,000 and I'm just like, wow. So, again, every little bit helps. Every little endorsement helps. It seems to have, the last 3 days, it stopped generating any money. So again, let's just get her to her 15,000. It's been up. I believe the GoFundMe has been up now for 14 days, which is great. She's gotten 77%. So let's just try and push her over the top to 15,000. And, at least we know she's got what she wanted, and she deserves that, man. She's been good to the fans, and she loved her brother. Just because they were having problems because of her substance abuse issues, she's got 22 years of clean time, which I cannot stress more, which is way more than James, way more than Lars, and keeping that in mind, give her the benefit of the doubt. Oh yeah, and here's another picture of Lars I forgot to put up with the comparisons again. So there he is again. You see the chin again, right? So everybody will just one more time. You see, that's not Lars. That's not his chin. And it's just, what infuriates me is more and more, this guy's just made himself more visible, as if to say, ha, 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 fuck you. I've fooled them all. And that to me is just, it's an insult to any fan. If this was any other musician doing it too, I would be infuriated as well, because fans pay big money to see bands, especially this band. This band, these tickets were, people were telling me a weekend ticket in Europe was $500, $500 American. And that's a lot of money. And that's like without even a seat. And in North America, those seats were going for $1,000 on the floor to be packed in like sardines, and they can hold 20,000 people in that circle in the round. So I mean, that's a lot of money. And to be like, I mean, the law is, and then we'll move on. The law is, if you are changing the lineup of the band, regardless of who it is, you have to notify the ticket holder. I looked it all up, and these are the laws, at least in North America. I don't know about over in Europe, but in North America, you have to notify the ticket holder that there is a change in lineup, and then they decide whether or not they want to refund their ticket. And I think that these fans weren't given that choice, and whether who knows what we'll find out the reason. Let's hope we find out what the reason is why they've lied to the fans for this long. I know why, but I don't see why they should have continued. This tour should have been canceled. Now I know why it wasn't canceled was because in South America during the pandemic, they had to cancel the South American tour, and they were sued by all the promoters and they lost. And so their insurance premium is through the roof right now. And so, missing shows and stuff like that was like, it gets expensive. But at the same time, lying to fans long term, that's going to be expensive. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, okay, I get it. Lars was a bad person and they had to carry on, blah, 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 which is fine. And as I was saying to Rexy, the way you'll know how it happens is either I'll keep saying it until the truth comes out, or I'll go silent because I've been paid off. And I'll take that payment. Thank you very much. I am no fucking hero here. I am no martyr. I am no nothing. I want to be paid. And then there's lots of other things we can talk about. Way more, right? Is Rex there?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there's lots of other things we can talk about, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, I was just having you go with it. I'm like, okay. I was just making sure you're still expecting me to say something. Okay.
All right. Well, we're done with Metallica stuff.
I can say something now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully that's the end of it. As I said, they've been done now for a week. And, I mean, I just did the numbers on how much money they made, not including T-shirt sales. And it's a bundle. What?
You only did all that because you want to give use to that thing from last week.
Well, I think it's a tradition now to spill a bit of tea at the beginning on Metallica. I mean, I know, and this I think that everybody should know, is that if Lars Ulrich was alive, he would have shut me up by now. He spent 24 years trying to shut me up about him cheating on his wife. So why stop now? Why? Why would you stop? And, he would have served everybody. Look in 2016, Metallica served a cover band for using their music. They sued them. They served them with legal papers in 2016. So they never stopped suing people, and they wouldn't stop now, especially because they have my lawyer's contact. They would have contacted him and said, cease and desist. It's a very simple letter. I served one this week on somebody, and so, this is the thing, is that it's just like, if this was Lars, I can tell you, he was calling my work, he was calling my family, he was calling my friends, defaming me, discrediting me, and now all of a sudden he's gone quiet. Well, why is that? I know why. So that's the end of that. But anyway, I just don't like the fact that fans are being lied to. It wouldn't matter what genre, it wouldn't matter what band, but when fans are being lied to at this epic proportion, it just makes people think, hey, there's somebody watching on Restream. Hi, everybody. There, we got one person, Rex. Woo! Here, we'll celebrate some more. I'll use a yellow on this one. Here, this is like the Metallica yellow. These are left over from Yngwie Malmsteen last week. Oh, yeah. Richie Sambora's birthday on the, I believe it's the 10th. So happy birthday, Richie. He's another one that the guitar tech friend of mine works for. He calls Richie Sambora his guy. So says he's the nicest guy in the whole world. Oh, Rexy's gone. Okay, so we'll just see if she comes back. I think her phone overheated. So anyway, we'll move on then. Wow, it feels weird to do it without her though, but we'll do it without her. Okay, so we'll move on. The other thing I had here is I have a picture of Brett Hines. Basically, this is the corner. I believe it was in Georgia. Oh, here she is. Okay, she's back. Hi, Rex. Did you overheat? Hold on a second. Let me get this down. You overheat? I can't hear her. Now she's just going to mess with us. I wonder if she, Rexy, where are you? Anyway, okay, so we'll move on and we'll just see if she comes back or not. This is what happens when you talk for 2 hours before we actually record the show, which is hysterical, which is so us. So here we are. Okay, no, Rexy's here, but okay. Anyway, so basically on this corner, she hung up again. So on this corner, I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, I think you can hear me. Okay, so on this corner is where Brett Hines had his motorcycle accident. And I think he ran it without looking or whatever anyway, but he obviously was killed. And so on the anniversary of that, which is coming up in August, they put this memorial up on the corner for Brett. And Brent actually photobombed an interview I was doing with another underrated guitarist that I wanted to mention, which is Tim Salt from Clutch. And Tim and I did an interview back in 2015. Let me see if I can get it here. And he was absolutely amazing. He was like, it was my first interview too. So, I mean, I really needed some, like, I mean, they put me with a tough person because he normally only did interviews with guitar magazines, and like I'm obviously not that person. And so we actually talked for over an hour, and I wasn't a big Clutch fan at the time. It wasn't that I didn't know a lot about them. So when they came upon this interview, they offered it to me. And I mean, I was going to the show anyway. So it was like, it was my first time seeing Clutch and not my last. They are like one of my favorite bands now. So anyway, he was really amazing and just a great guy. And that was, that was 11 years ago, which is just nuts. I can't believe that. But again, another underrated guitarist, another guy who, I mean, this guy's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Tim. I can't say enough good things about Clutch in general. JP Glaster, again, is another one who's a great drummer. Dan Maines, and of course, Pastor Fallon. They're such a great band, great jam band. They don't like to be called metal. They like to be called go-go, which I guess is a genre. I'm so not cool on all these genres anymore. But let me just show you the pictures that I got of this when we did the interview. It was fun. I had a good time, but like I said, it was my first time. It was my first interview. See, there's Tim. And so, hold on a second. Do they have pictures of me? Yeah, there's Tim and I. Hold on. Go down. There I am. Me with my friggin' glasses on. Anyway, and he's just super nice guy. Couldn't ask for there. That's a better one. So we were in London, Ontario, back when I carried that bag. Oh my God, that bag is heavy. Trust me. Anyway, we were in London, Ontario, and he was really, really nice. Like it was my first interview. It was the first time I had interviewed any artist at all. And so having somebody like Tim who doesn't give interviews usually is somebody else. He pulled the shortest straw that day and we got it. And we ended up becoming friends. Just a super nice guy. So when we were doing this interview, Brett Hines from Mastodon, because it was a Clutch Mastodon tour, came and he photobombed the interview. It was pretty funny because I was like, kind of like, what's going on? Who is this? So yeah, we had a good time. They're all good guys. I mean, they're like, I actually met Bran a bit later in the day that day, Bran Daler, who is the drummer for Mastodon. And right at that time, there was an article that Brett Hines had put his dick in Lars Ulrich's pocket at an event. And so I didn't know which one was Bran at the time. And so when Bran came up to me, he's just a doll, and I said, "Hey, are you the one that put your dick in Lars Ulrich's pocket?" And he goes, "No, I'm just the drummer." And that's just the kind of people that they are. They're just good people. These Southern state people, I mean, Clutch are from Virginia, and I believe that Mastodon are from Georgia. So, I mean, they're just really nice people, very accommodating. I had a really good time. And yeah, it was a fun show. the only thing that was that people were vaping in the audience, and I don't mean cannabis vaping. I mean those like the nicotine vaping, and it was pungent, and so we had to like leave at some point. So moving on. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. We'll talk about this now. A little more Metallica, but then I think this is an important thing, and it goes beyond Metallica. I've been contacted by a lot of women fans of Metallica, and mostly James Hetfield. And they're contacting me and they're telling me about being contacted themselves by someone who's telling them that they're James Hetfield. And now I get it. A lot of people would want to talk to James and stuff like that. And I've been catfished by him, but he goes under different names and things like that. I know it's him though. He's easy to catch. Most of the time, the best thing to do is if you know anything about the guy you're talking to, just find out what his favorite bands are and then question the person. But what I would normally suggest, what's happening is that these catfish, these scammers, mostly are out of Mumbai or Nigeria. And what they do is they come on and pretend like they're James or whomever. I've had Chad Kroeger, I've had Kid Rock, I've had Brad Pitt, all sorts of things. And the first thing they ask, first of all, they talk to you and they, oh, thank you, fan, for being such a great fan, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever met me before? And of course, for me, it's like with these guys, it's like, well, you fucking know me. If you know, I know your crew members. Tell me who this crew member is. So I start quizzing them and then they tell me to fuck off and they get all mad. But for everyone out there who is getting these emails, because I mean, I'm meeting women who have, you know, basically either reported them, blocked them, or gone all the way to like, because, you know, I mean, there's a lot of women who have like a real big love for James and other musicians. And so they're willing to put out money. And I've heard up to $50,000 on these meet and greets that are non-existent. So what the person will do is they will say, do you have a membership card? And first of all, I'm going to tell you, as I said, Metallica just made $198 million just in costs, like for the production for their show through the promoters. So they don't need your money. Okay. If any musician, any artist ever asks you for money online, it's not them. Okay. These guys don't ask for money. Second of all, most of them, they're, I'm rubbing my nose because I'm sweating. Sorry. So, most of these guys, their PR team runs different things. Like Jerry Cantrell, he has access more to his Instagram than anything. But other than that, I mean, even Chad Kroeger, it says, you know, if it's not verified, then it's not me. And so keeping that in mind, you know, with these people, they come on, it's a, you know, and they tell you, oh no, this is my one away from that because I want to get in close with my fans to chat. And I know, you know, everybody wants to talk to these guys and everybody would like to feel special in that. But, and there's no problem. If you want to talk to that person, go ahead. But do not, if they say to you, I want you to go on WhatsApp or Telegram, don't go. What they're doing is they're trying to harvest your telephone number. And keeping that in mind, you know, the thing is that they'll harvest your telephone number and then they'll do things with it. And you don't want that. You don't want to give them your email address at all. Definitely not give them any of your banking information, and do not give them a dime. If this is the person, especially James Hetfield, I mean, the guy's rich. The guy's worth like $500 million. You know, he doesn't need your money. So these people who, you know, and they get angry and stuff like that. But, you know, I know the most important thing is to, you know, be strong. And everybody wants to talk to these guys. And there are ways, you know, if you have something you want to tell, like we'll just use James as the example. If you have something you want to tell them, go to info@metclub, metclub.com and send it there. You know, it'll be done through staff. But if it's legit and they think that James needs to see it, it'll go. Like, I mean, if it's a fan letter or whatever, mail it to HQ. You know, if you Google what is Metallica HQ's address, they have a full mailing address for you. Mail it to them, you know, I mean, easy access through the internet. The one thing I always say to these people is that, will you video chat? And they're always like, I mean, I heard every excuse. I mean, I get guys too or people, it doesn't know if it's a man or a woman, who will say that they have been they're on a military base and they aren't allowed to make phone calls, but they're allowed on social media. Okay, I gotcha. So basically, to protect yourself, I mean, you want to protect yourself, nobody wants to be scammed. And so, the most important thing that you can do is ask these people to prove who they are through video. And if they can't show a video of themselves live, like we are right now, like I am right now, then just keep moving, man. I mean, depending on who it is, they maybe have a legitimate site where you can, that's why I love Twitter so much, is that, the verified sites, I always go on, and I've always looked at Twitter as sort of a Nikki Nine Doors or a Crank Yank of this era, because we don't have that kind of privilege with phones anymore. And that is that, I can leave a message for them, saying whatever I want, and most of the time it's complimentary, or before it was an idea that I had for them. So, there are ways of reaching out if you really feel you need to talk to this person. However, none of these musicians are ever going to ask for money. None of these actors are ever going to ask for money. There is no membership. The story goes, they say, do you have a membership card? Oh, well, let me put you in touch with my manager. You can buy a membership card and then we can meet. Now, this is all bullshit. None of this is true. The only way to, with Metallica, it was through the meet and greets that people were paying for, which I can't believe. Like, I mean, we got them for free when we were in the fan club. The fact that they're charging for them now is just like, wow. I'm like, it just shows you that this is why I believe it's their last tour. Like, charging for these kinds of things. These used to be like sacred rites of passage for the fan, who'd either been, diligent in the fan club or been lucky enough to help out somewhere or know a crew member or whatever. That's how you got passes before you did things. I never did those things. But, so the thing is that, James is engaged. James, I'm not particularly fond of her. I think that she's a bad idea. I think that I think she's still in love with her husband that killed himself. And I didn't like the way that this week she went and she reached out to Sharon Osbourne and started to console her when it's like, look, nobody asked you. You are not Mama Het. And, I mean, honestly, if you want to Google her online, they have lied about her occupation, where she was born, and said she was a journalist and a fashion designer, as well as she was born in England and went to Oxford. None of this is true. What is true is that she's from Colorado. I believe she's of Cuban descent, and she was a manager of a cross fitness. She wasn't even the owner. She was a manager. I think it's called Oxygen Light something or other, something along that line. Anyway, in somewhere in Colorado. But that James was working out there, and that's how they met. Now, James was also dating, as we've gone through week after week. James was also dating 500 people. So she was one of many, and she ended up being the last round draft pick. She wasn't first. She is the last one, obviously, at this point. But at the same time, James has been, he was messaging me in 2014. So, and people are saying that he's admitted to cheating on his wife and things like that. And it's like, okay, whatever, that's part of his disease, and that's whatever. But my point is that this woman has isolated him from his own children. She's got her own 3 kids moved into his house now. And, she's doing what's best for her kids and her kids' future. And of course, she likes what she sees as far as, she went in the beginning of the tour, she had them filming her shopping in Bucharest. By the end of the tour, nobody saw her. So it just tells you what's going on. I mean, Fran, the one thing about Fran, she's lying about all this stuff about Callie, but at least Fran kept it quiet. Oh, look, she might be back. Let's see if she's back. Are you back, girl?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so I'm just talking about I did everything else, and then we can move on. You don't even have to put up with the Metallica bullshit. But I was just talking about the women that have been played for money by people saying they're James, like that woman that like $50,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? Well,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just put like,
but, that's okay. as long as basically I'm back by the time you get the pictures and everything up. So
Yeah, I mean the thing is it's sad because you don't want to see anybody like again. This is me protecting the fan because I don't want them to get ripped off. And especially for women, like I mean, I get it, like especially women that are around our age or maybe a little bit younger, there's that biological clock. But I'm talking to women who are like, one woman was like, been there, done that. And I'm like, can you elaborate? Yeah, I'll keep it anonymous, right? What do you mean been there, done that? And then another one, she's like contacted me and she's like, he says he loves me, but he wants me to pay a membership fee. And I'm like, girl, that is fake. And then, but I mean, a lot of people, it's like, whatever's going on in their life, this was just like a glimmer of hope. And I get it. And, and that's why I'm like very overprotective of these people, because, these are the loyal fans. These are the ones that, they really, some of them, this is like, it's like they're, when it comes to Metallica, right? It's like in their veins. That's what they want. And so, somebody contacts you and says that you're going to meet James, fuck, a lot of women, that's
I still don't get why they're like that, but what can I tell you?
I met James in 1998. Like I said, he jumped down off the stage in 92. And it was sort of my goal from then to meet James. And when I met him, Callie had just been born and he was like, he had a big beer gut and he was looked exhausted. But it didn't matter, right? It was sort of like, okay, score. Met James. And then it was sort of like right when I went into recovery in 2000, I was like, we went to Foxborough that summer to see them. And I was like, I'm going to meet James. And I lied. I lied to the Met Club president. I would like, she wasn't even a fan of Metallica. So it was like, she was easy game. And I just like, I was like, today I'm going to meet James. And I fucking did.
Yeah,
and then
I know.
4 years later, I met him again.
Yeah, I still don't get it, but okay.
Well, for me, it was like at the time there was a point. Now, since I've done the interviews and stuff and actually gotten some time to get to know artists, it's different. But at first, it was like that was sort of like meeting the band was like the thing for me. Not like partying with them or doing drugs with them, but like just meeting them and just telling them how much they mean to me.
Sure.
I mean, you whenever you meet them, you never. Those words are always lost. You always forget them.
Yeah, but, I know. I've met bands before, so
yeah. So then you know what it means. Well, you've met Mustaine.
Oh, a couple times, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
second time I met him, I lost my voice. Actually, before I got in there, my voice was gone. So that's an interesting story. The second time I met him, I was like so pissed. I ended up with laryngitis before I walked in. So pissed.
Speaking of laryngitis,
they were late too. They were really late. They didn't get there till like midnight, and I was like,
now which eras did you meet them in? You met Gar, didn't you?
I met Gar. Yeah, that was like 87. It was June of 87. I remember I just graduated high school, right. And yeah, it was hot outside. And then I met him again in I think that was 2001, and that was like the World Needs a Hero time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's our picture of Dave Mustaine for the week. This is Rexy's choice for the week. There you go. Aren't you pretty, Dave? Black and white, Dave.
That's a nice.
So you met Gar. You met Chris Poland as well, right?
Oh yeah, two big pricks. Yeah. Well, yeah. Chris is like Gar, but yeah, well, I knew they were going to get that. Well, that was when basically.
Huh? Go ahead.
When I basically met them at the time, I knew they were going to get fired. I knew they were going to be gone by the next album, and it turned out I was right because I just knew it.
And, I did the same thing with Jason. I did the same thing with Jason Newsted. I met him twice. I met him in 98 and then I met him in 2000. First time I met him, see, James used to come out and steal the thunder from the women, right? Like Jason would come out after, but Jason was the only one who ever came out every single time. Never missed a meet and greet ever. Like before 2004, before James went into rehab, for them, they considered it optional to meet the fans. It was optional. And then after that, at 2004, all four of them started coming. But James used to come out and like sort of, outshine Jason, because all the girls would be like, oh, James, oh, and then Jason would come out. But in 2000, when Jason came out, he was so nice and so on fire and just so happy. I was like, I turned to the girl beside me and I go, I think he's going to quit.
Yeah, and you know what? This was about me, not about your meeting Metallica. You asked me if
I don't. Okay, go.
Let me finish. Then you can jibber jabber about when you met Jason and all that. So anyway, then I met him again in 2001, which is way different kind of feel, because it was not as crazy as it was before, and that's when I met who was that played on there? The guitar player. He used to play for Alice Cooper years ago, and a lot of other guys, other bands. He's another reputable guitar
Kane?
player.
Are you talking about Kane?
Kane?
Big muscle guy? Well, that guy played for Cooper.
No.
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 And then Cooper turned to letting women play guitar. And
Can
then he
you
got
get online
and
basically check it out? It was on World Needs a Hero. I can't remember his name, but he played with Cooper. He played with a lot of people.
Okay.
It was in 2001, I believe. I think it was the same year, basically, the Twin Towers hit. So, but I met him, and and Dave Ellefson was still in the band. I can't even remember who the drummer was. Yeah, it was so long ago, and I felt so crappy that day. I was so pissed off. Everything looked like I was drowning underwater, and I was like all nervous and everything. I was like so pissed. But I got to talk to him with a little bit with my voice. But by the time I got the funny thing is, when I met him the first time, I met him first, and then I met the rest of the band. But the other time, I met the rest of the band first before I got to meet Dave. So it was like the opposite. So, but yeah, you can go ahead with your story. Want to brag about when you met Jason? Go ahead. I don't even know we got onto this, but okay.
Well, I met Dave once, and that was a fucking hot mess. It was right when his book signing came out. I was led to believe that Dave was going to talk to me about the book and my part in it and stuff. And they also said that I was working for a children's cancer charity, which we've talked about on the show before, Coast to Coast Gates Cancer. I went out and bought a signature Mustang guitar. I was told by the fan club members, Mick, Rob, and Mick Shane, the guys that run the fan club, that Dave would sign it. So I brought it down to Indigo Books and sat in line for like 2 hours, bought 2 of the books as well. And when I got to the front, Dave was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like just completely humiliated me. And meanwhile, he knew what I was talking about because I talked to David Ellefson later in the day. And he's like, well, what can I say? I can't, make excuses for Dave. And it's like, but now, and that's another thing we can talk about right now is this week, David Ellefson has been saying every time he sees Megadeth without him in the band, it's just a Dave solo band. How do you feel about that?
When he was in the band, it was pretty much Dave's band. So,
yeah. Well, how did he get fired twice?
I mean, he was like freaking. He was lucky he got in there a second time because he freaking tried suing him. I'm surprised Dave even let him back again.
Well, Super Collider is not a good album. Like the album he returned on, Super Collider, is not a good album. It's a shame because Sean Drover and Chris Broderick are great musicians, but it just was not a good album. And then, of course, Dystopia was next, and that's fucking amazing. Like, Chris Adler is, like, one of my favorite drummers. I hope that someday he, gets a perfect match again and comes back into the game, because I miss him. When he was in Lamb of God, he was just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so did you look up on who was playing guitar in the band at the time?
Yeah,
I can't get online. So
do you think that Dave? Do you consider Megadeth like to be? And this is another thing we'll talk about too, because we were talking about this during the week. Do you consider it to be Dave Mustaine's solo band? Like, do you look at it that way?
Yeah, I look. Well, I wouldn't actually say solo, but yeah, it is. It is Dave Mustaine's. It is Dave Mustaine's band. Okay, it is Mustaine. Okay. It's just that he does give other guys the option to contribute to any of the songwriting, of course, But it is pretty much, he is mostly the sole songwriter, and music writer, I believe. But I know that the other guys participate in it, but I do pretty much think it is pretty much, Dave Mustaine's Megadeth. That's how I
Right.
see it, and it
Well,
was
and
probably
here,
like that for a while. I mean, the very first time, maybe not, like, in the very early years, probably not, but as time goes on, when you start really knowing the band and who's really participating in it and who's really making the song, writing the songs and the changeovers and everything, it is pretty much Dave, because there's no way in heck that band could have lasted as long as it is with all that many changeovers, unless Dave was basically the sole songwriter. So, pretty much.
so, and then Rexy and I talked during the week too. So everybody we don't just do it just here. We're actually friends, but you're my invisible friend. Cause remember, I have no friends. But anyway, just delusional fucking family members. So we were talking about, a lot of people are like, who's the better guitar player, Dave or James Hetfield?
Oh,
And because we're kind of stemming back to the Finnish journalist who was like, who would win in a fight? But what we were talking about was vocals. And I was saying that when it comes to Megadeth songs, they are tailored for Dave Mustaine's voice. There's an angsty part to them, like Sweating Bullets. James couldn't do it justice the same way that Dave does. There's something about the way Dave sings that makes Megadeth a signature sound, no matter what the era is. And that's, something I think that a lot of people don't take into consideration. James couldn't sing Megadeth and do it the same kind of justice that Dave does. That's why his voice I like his voice.
Yeah. Dave basically, and the band basically is designed for his vocals, because Dave is not really what you call an actual great vocalist, but
yeah.
he's suited for what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I mean, think about it. If you basically had somebody else singing Holy Wars, and I've heard other people sing Holy Wars, it is not the same effect. It has a totally different effect.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Dave's effect, the way he does it, it really kicks you in the ass. You're like, whoa, yeah. But then you hear somebody else sing, it's like, yeah, it's just not the same.
It's like Holy War, like Hangar 18. Like, it's just
Yeah,
the
none
way.
of their songs.
Yeah, like, these are traditional songs that if you're a Megadeth fan, you kind of expect to hear live every show, especially Holy Wars. But, and Sweating Bullets. I mean, Sweating Bullets was made for Dave. Like, that's a song that just sounds like him. Everything about it. And that's part of the Dave thing, is that it's angsty. And, that frustrated young man sound. And I like it. I mean, it's the same with, I know people like, Philip Anselmo is another one where it's an acquired taste as to the way he's singing. But people love it because it sounds like he's like screaming, like gutturally.
Well, the thing is, even with that one song, what do you call it? It's French, A Ton de Madon, whatever you call it. He had it's originally done on Youth in Asia with just him singing it because it's his song, but he did do like a remix with that one Christine singer, and it's not the same, and it's really not good. I don't think it's good when somebody else puts their voice to that song. It's not the same. So it's, and the same thing with In My Darkest Hour. And these are real gut wrenching songs. These are songs that make you, oh my God, I know it. Real painful songs. So you know what you're talking about. So it can't be replaced.
Even a Tout Le Mans. I mean, it's just, like it's just such a, I feel like it's a song written for him because the song, I remember the first time I heard it, I just started bawling. He sounds so lost. It's just so well done. Like, it's just such an angsty song. And that's sort of where I put Dave, as far as like his vocal representation, as always being like a very smart, very frustrated young man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not the same. I've heard other people try singing these things. It's just it does not work the same. You
Yeah.
cannot, and that's the beauty of Megadeth, and that will be one of the beauty things of him in future time is that no matter who's going to do that song, it won't be the same. You have to have that right. You have to have the same voice, and not many people have a voice like him. So to really play those songs, he's hard to copy, Dave. So, I think basically if you're talking about vocals in an general uh, fact and who's got better vocals, yeah, I think James is a little better of a vocalist. But Dave is great for his band, So,
I haven't heard him sing Ride the Lightning yet. I haven't listened to the I
oh,
don't
no.
want to listen to the last Megadeth album because I don't want it to be over.
Oh, you're going to hit that's something you can't control anyway. But
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's not the same when in the like I tried to explain this before, but I think I got cut off. When it comes to Ride the Lightning, if you compare Dave's version compared to the 1984, 85 Ride the Lightning when James sings it, when the band sings it, it's not at all it's not the same really. And I think that basically the old one is a little better. However, this is the thing that I can't prove. If you took them actually playing it now, I don't think they would be better at it than Dave Mustaine did. I think there'd be a difference if you took the way they actually play it now. I don't think it's as good. I just don't think it would be as good as if they actually recorded the way the band is now and the way they sing, way James sings now in his natural voice, not his fake voice. And
Well, and he's also had the vocal surgery. He's had throat surgery too, same like a lot of people, and he's come back. I mean, that's the thing. Like they wrote him off and said that he would never play guitar again, and then he had this throat surgery. His book comes out next September. It comes out in September 26th, I believe, in My Darkest Hour, and it's all about his fight of cancer.
Oh, sure. No, I was talking about James's natural voice.
Oh, James' voice?
Yeah, well, if you take James's voice now in his natural voice, not with backing tracks and all the funky shit, I don't think it would be as good as Dave's. And even though Dave doesn't have a great voice and he's not really as good of a singer, I think it's because all the band participation in there. I don't think I don't think Metallica's musicians can play it as well. So,
well, like a lot of people, I'm not sure if you know this, but like the shrieky James all the way across, he was not trained at all. And then somewhere in the mid 90s, he blew his voice out singing So What? And he had to retrain his voice, and he went to a Jewish cantor, and that's how Geddy Lee, Geddy Lee is the same thing, is that he learned from a cantor. And so that's why his voice is so different now. I call him Vegas James now because, he's like, just everything is it just seems so showy to me now. It's everything has to be perfect. And I'm more of I like spontaneity, like, like Power going out during Iron Maiden shows and shit like that.
Well, yeah, it's all a spectacle now.
Yeah.
For them. It's not really like your good old hardcore down to earth thrash band anymore. It's a mainstream pop Hollywood glamour bunch of bullshit, and it's just all show and no soul.
Yeah. And speaking of throat surgery, John Bon Jovi just started. He's got a 9-date residency at Madison Square Gardens right after Taylor Swift. And he's just come back from 4 years after vocal surgery. He's getting better night to night, but apparently the first night there was a lot of people who were like telling him pack it in. And I thought, shame on you guys. Like here he is, like putting his all out there for these people. But I found what he's doing is very similar to what Rick Emmett did on this last tour as well, which is he's allowing the other guitarists to harmonize with him, and he's sort of walking through songs as opposed to really like batting them out the way he used to. And I think over time, as he goes, it's going to get better. He's present as far as physically in that is concerned, but his voice is definitely, it needs to, but that's the only way to get it to come back is to keep singing.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Bon Jovi fan. I never thought he had a good voice in the first place. So, no, I'm serious. I never was a Bon Jovi fan and never will be. I always call him Bon John Blow Me. I hate his music. I think it's boring. It's very bland. Is the way I.
Not though.
I
saw them back. I saw them back in the 80s on the Slippery When Wet tour with Cinderella opening, and they were amazing, man. That's a funny story. I don't know if I would tell that one on the air, but it has to do with me, a girl named Charlene, and some mescaline.
Yeah. If someone basically said, "Hey, Chris, you show," and I had an extra, I'd go see them, but I'd never go out of my way to go see them, because I was never a fan. So,
well, Sambora's Guitar Tech
performance, but I don't really like them as a band. I don't like their music.
Yeah, no, Richie Sambora's Guitar Tech. The one thing that Bon Jovi always did is that I had this tradition with the tech, and every time I was in Toronto, they always made sure I had tickets. And, from 2009 until I moved out of the city. And, that's the band being accommodating. And I really appreciate that. Like I found the staff that worked for the John Bon Jovi or the Bon Jovi staff in general, really nice people. Very nice, no attitude, and just a great group of people. Obviously a great group of people to work with too. So yeah, it was a nice experience. I wish him the best of luck. This tour is called Forever, and I just hope that he is getting what he wants out of it. He deserves it. He's been performing now for almost 50 years. And, the fact is that, all 9 of those shows at Madison Square Garden are sold out. So
I have other issues with John Bon Blow Me, so I won't get into that. So
yeah, no, I always had a good time at Bon Jovi shows. Like, it's part of my past, it's part of my soundtrack of my life, and I was always the hairbrush rock star, and definitely Bon Jovi was on rotation. So they've got enough of a repertoire that I enjoyed seeing them. They're playing a Blood on Blood, which is like one of my favorite Bon Jovi songs off of New Jersey. And, they have one of the guitarists that replaced Richie Sambora. We can't really replace him, but anyway, he's the guitar player now. His name is Phil X, and he's from Mississauga, which is part of Ontario, Canada. So sort of a hometown boy for us. So big love. Phil X was also on the Triumph tour. So he's the real sought-after hired gun. Very exciting. Okay, we'll move on from Bon Jovi. You there? Oh, she's cutting out again. All right. Well, yep, she's cutting out again. All right, so the next thing is that as we go along here, I've been going through these GoFundMes with different musicians and such. Now, I'm not familiar with this actual guy. His name is Sean Glass, pardon me, where I got Jamie from, I don't know. Sean Glass is his name. And he is big in he was big in the scene for 40 years in Chicago, well, not Chicago, but Chicago, Illinois area. I'm just going to try to bring up his fundraiser. Here he is here. So this fundraiser has been started for him. Apparently what happened was this guy is like one of those guys who was always connecting people, making sure that if you needed something, he was there for you. And he was in a bunch of bands. So I'm going to try and get the names of those bands right now. Try and roll this down here. Yeah. So he was in a band called Terminal Death, Syndrome, Broken Hope, Soil, Dirge Within. Hopefully I said that right. The Bloodline, and most recently a band called Repentance. And he's very well known. There's lots of images from the past with him with multiple musicians all different, like I saw Dino Cazares from Fear Factory posted a picture with him. So what happened to this young man? He's the same age as I am, so he's 57. And in May, he had a stroke, massive stroke, and he was on life support for all of June. And he passed away at the beginning of July. Now he's let this little fella here is his son, and his son's name is, here I got to check it again. His son's name is, I had it too, Maddox. And so Maddox, he's this entire GoFundMe is based on paying for, because I mean, a month in intensive care. Can you imagine how much that must have cost? So they've got these bills that have been left behind by him, unfortunately, because of his stroke, and the young man. And then for his Maddox, they're trying to create a future for the young man, make sure he gets at college and the things he needs. So anybody who's interested, this is another one where $5, $10 doesn't make a difference. This is somebody I'm going to be donating this week to this. And to me, it's just like, doing these little things, I don't usually talk about, doing them myself, or when I do them, I don't talk about it, because that's sort of, there's a mensch rule with that. And so to do that, instead, you have to do good things and not tell anyone. So the fact that, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to do it to make myself look better or whatever, but doing these things, even if it's $5, $10, I mean, this builds up your karma bank. It also, what's a coffee? I mean, all you're doing is giving up your coffee money on that day for this little boy who has just lost his dad. And I lost my dad when I was 7, so I get it. And so I hope, and it seems right now that they're 25% of the way there. Their goal is $180,000, which is, we'll make sure that Maddox gets to school and all those great things. And so, and also pay those medical bills so that the family isn't exhausted by this unfortunate circumstance. I mean, being in an American hospital, especially, I don't know if he was insured or what his insurance was, but it never covers everything. And so this GoFundMe is helping put some money together so that the family doesn't come up bankrupt in the end. And this young man, this money, as they say in the GoFundMe, this will be put into a trust fund for him. Nobody's going to touch it. And this young man, it will be held for him until he turns 18 and can go to school, or whenever he goes to school. And so that means, you're investing in a young person's future. And with, I'm not going to get into the economy and that, but with the economy like it is, and with things like they are, it's, what's $5? What's $10? But if that, $5, $10 from every single person that's, ever heard of any of these bands, or, or been to Chicago and checked out the metal scene there. I've been to Chicago a couple times, and I've never heard of these bands, but I do believe that this person here, he's one of those rainmakers, as I like to call them, which is where he would make things happen for people and never wanted anything back. I mean, that's one of the things they stressed so much, was that this is a guy who did things because he wanted to do them, not because he was trying to gain something from it. And, that's a beautiful person. It's a shame that we've lost him at such a young age. 57 is too young, and it's heartbreaking, and leaving, a young family behind, especially a young boy who needs his dad. So, we can't replace his father, but we sure can help try and make sure he's got a future. And, knowing that you have money in the bank, that you can go to school, does make you more ambitious. It shows you that people believe in you, and we believe in Maddox. And I hope that the money is made that is being asked for. And I hope that every single dream that Maddox has comes true. And I hope he knows that his dad loves him a whole pile. So that was the person this week. I'm going to try and find everybody. If you want to, you can send me at marianneis5150@gmail.com. GoFundMe's, what have you. Tell me your story, and I'm more than happy to feature them. And I like doing this. Fundraising has always been a big thing for me. I love a good charity. I love helping people financially. Everybody could use a hand up, not a handout. And I believe that these GoFundMe's and other things, they give the people dignity. And hopefully maybe they're going to put a fundraiser concert together in Chicago for Sean's family, and hopefully there'll be lots of good things happening. It looks to me like this is a person who touched a lot of people, and not in an inappropriate way, but touched a lot of people and changed their lives and made the metal scene in Chicago a better place. And so keeping that in mind, that's a person I'm willing to support. I don't have to know you. I don't have to know anything. All I have to know is that, the people I see that are endorsing him are people that I trust and believe. And so with that, why not? And like I said, again, if there's other ones like this, like, I picked up Connie's and now this one, if anybody else has any other fundraisers or anything they want, the world to know about, or my 3 followers or whoever many followers I have, let me help you. Let me use this platform to help you. I mean, that's what it's here for. I tried to offer this to Darren Smith's family, but there are way too many chefs cooking the soup, and I don't do drama. I'm not here to power trip. I'm not here to be an alpha female. I'm here to help. And when it turns to drama, I'm out. And so basically I just had to say, I'm sorry, good luck. It's a shame because I really wanted to help, but when you have too many, especially women, trying to fight to be the hero, and I'm not trying to be the hero. All I was trying to do was make sure that there was funds available while he waits for his pension. So, but I can't, there's nothing I can do. I can't make people do things. I can't, I'm not going to sit there and beg to be liked. So anyway, as far as laryngitis is concerned, so we keep losing Rexy, Rush is back on tour. Yay! Today is Getty and Nancy. I guess, well, they'd be Weintraub, right? But she goes by Nancy Young. So Nancy and Getty, it is their 50th, no kidding, 50th wedding anniversary today. So they were married in 1976 on this day. Wow, just incredible. So last night, Rush returned to the Dickey Center in Fort Worth, and they apparently were on fire. They did the entire, if I'm correct, they did the entire Moving Pictures album last night, which is par for the course with the set list as we've gone along with Rush. Usually it starts with a mixed bag on Monday, on the first show. The second show is 2112. This third show is Moving Pictures. And I believe then they go back and they do the overture of 2112. I believe they do the overture of 2112 last night too. But anyway, so it was a hit, another 3-hour show. He's 100%. So it's good to know, like, we love you, Getty, Alex, Anika. We just love you all. We love the professor. And it's just seeing this, and the fans are just so excited. This was such a disappointment that they had to postpone these shows. And there were a lot of people that ended up having to pass on seeing the shows because they had to get back home because they had traveled there. So luckily enough, I believe it has something to do with air conditioning. Whitney Houston used to be a big one for not having air conditioning around. I find it even affects me. I had a little bit of a cold this week, but I'm not getting near Whitney Houston, trust me. But so they just, happy anniversary to Ged and Nancy, and glad to have you back, Ged, and, Rush on. I'm really happy for all my Rush fans. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of this tour has in store. And I do hope that there are no more postponements. And I'm just glad that the Dickey Center was available so that they could reschedule them so quickly. And with that, that's great. So, okay, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else here. I've just got a couple of pictures of Jerry. And then we'll make it a quick one today. And then everybody can go, oh my God, thank God we don't have to listen to her. Here's a picture of Duff McKagan and Alice in Chains, because he's trying to anyway, I thought it was cute and funny. So if it's cute and funny, I got it. So there's one. And then my other Jerry Cantrell picture of the day, because I love him, is this one. And I love this picture of him. So cool. He's just so fucking cool. It's not even funny. Like, way cooler than cool. Like, it's like, he not only is he cool, but everybody likes him. That's one of the things that I really love about Jerry Cantrell, is what you see is what you get with that man. And you never have to kind of second guess him. You know what you're getting. And you can even see when he walks into a room, people feel comfortable with him because they know that they're not going to get bullshitted, and they know that what they're getting is the exact person that he claims to be. And, I think he's a great human being. I think he's got some great staff, and it's just a great band. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next with Alice in Chains. Jerry's always working on solo stuff. And it's cool that he did 2 solo albums very quickly within 3 years of each other, right during this whole drama with me and the stuff that happened from 2019 or 2018 to 2024. So he produced 2 albums under Cantrell. He did Brighton, and there's a couple of songs on there that are about me. And everybody goes, "Oh, whatever." No, there really are. Siren Song is about me. Brighton is about me. It's like Never Fade on the Alice in Chains album is about me. They said it's about William Duvall's mom, grandma. But the thing is if it was, then why would they say, what did they say? They say, you think you're someone that you're not, something like that. And it's just like, the whole thing is, it's just about, Jerry just saying I'm a rock star, which I think is very cute and nice. But the joke was when they were going into pre-production of the album, people were dissing it, saying, it's time to pack it in, blah, blah, blah. And I said, actually, this album is based on, I said the running title of it right now is Heavy AF. And of course, Rainier Fog is heavy as fuck. And so that's where that comes from. Believe it or not, like everything else that I do on here. And we have one more, which is Jimmy Page in Paris. This was for Rexy. So there we go. This is Jimmy Page in Paris just recently. And again, all these guys are legends. We're supposed to go through a little bit more. We're going to get more into that stuff now that we don't have to talk about Metallica drivel. Let's hope that that's pretty much over. That's pretty much it for this week. I mean, usually I'm used to doing the back and forth with Brex, but her phone's is overheating for the day. So, computers, they don't mind, and you don't matter. Other than that, I want everybody to have a good week. Be nice to each other. This was a short one, so you're welcome. And if anything comes up during the week, I'll keep you updated. Again, like I said to all of you people that are being catfished and scammed online, none of these musicians want money. None of these musicians have membership cards. None of these musicians have managers that are going to ask you for money online. So don't do it. I promise you, if you want to, even double check, go to their verified accounts, go to their fan clubs and ask, show them the address. The other thing to do is report these accounts to whatever it is. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do, but the most important thing it'll do is just shut it down and make sure that no other fans get ripped off. So protect yourself against scammers, because they don't care. Like, their job is to rip you off. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about, the more money they can get out of you, the better it is for them. Like, their job is to rip you off. And again, that's one of the reasons why I've been so hard on Metallica, is that I cannot stand people getting ripped off because they're a fan, and the things that happen to them. It's not fair. And so, keeping that in mind, it's just, I just want everybody to have a good week, and take care of each other. And like I said, it's not hard to get caught up in thinking that it's somebody famous talking to you and, makes you feel good. And I get it. But at the same time, none of these people want your money. None of these people they're not looking for your money. Anybody that's asking you for money, especially online, or your phone number or your email address, they're phishing. And don't let them. Protect yourself, protect other fans, and expose these people as the losers that they are. I mean, the unfortunate part is I'm hearing women are actually getting to the point where these men are phoning them on their telephone, so they have their number and leaving messages and asking for money, and it's just like, I'm glad that these people are so far away that they can't get access physically to these women. But, it's disturbing. Like, it's just a shame to be playing on people's confidences. So anyway, that's the end of this show. Like I said, how the hell did we get here? I don't know. How the hell did we wind up like this? But, that's one more thing. Nickelback is on the, they're doing an update where basically I've added myself on my email, and they are filling in this, it looks like a round it looks to me like it's a compass, but who knows? And so within the next couple of days, Nickelback will have an update for us as to what they're up to and what they're doing. And so I'll look forward to that. I didn't really like Get Rollin' for various reasons, which we won't get into, but I did like San Quentin, the one song on the album, which is really good. The rest of it was kind of, they've gotten kind of formulaic. Nickelback has in the last couple of albums, and it's a shame. Kind of since Dark Horse, whereas I'm more like a Long Road, Silver Side Up kind of girl, Curve, and things like that. Like the early stuff. Like I was an early Nickelback fan and got to see them right at the very beginning of their career. I saw them in a bar with Default and Theory of a Dead Man. What a great show. And they always put on a good show. Like, I mean, they're so different. Like people who say they suck really should go see them live because they attack live and they're a lot of fun. If you can get past a chick screaming, it's really good. But I think that's sort of dying down. So anyway, there'll be an update about Nickelback next week. And other than that, I can't think of any other tea to spill. I think I've done it for today. And I'm used to doing my back and forth with Rexy. So we hope Rexy's phone feels better for next week. And until then, take care of yourself and have a great Sunday and be good to each other. And like I said, if you can help out with one of these fundraisers, for Connie or for Mr. Glass, for Sean Glass's son, Maddox. If you can do that, then, it's a good thing. It doesn't have to be a big amount. Like, sure, there's people that are giving huge amounts, but that doesn't mean that you have to. $5 is $5, $10 is $10, and it adds up. And that's it. It's your good karma putting it forward and believing in it and showing your support that will make other people support it too. So if you can do that, do it. And you're all good people. I know you are. I'm sure there's some haters. So wait, I've got a comment. Let's see if they. This says that's not a recent. Oh, Rex is online. She says that's not a recent picture of Jimmy. Okay, so then that's not a recent picture of Jimmy Page. See, she's the expert on the Led Zeppelin stuff. I'm not. You got to hear the story. She's got like good information on them. So anyway, have a great day. Nope, that was in 2016. There you go. So there. We miss you, Rex. Anyway, so everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you next week, and hopefully Rexy will be here too. And until then, au revoir, if they say in French.